All right, plowing ahead here. Book suggestion: The CIA nukes and spying on African nations. Hey, Billy Bookworm, I have a book suggestion that I think you'll be into. Don't worry, you can find the audiobook so that you don't have to strain your aging eyes or lug around a physical book while you prance around on Broadway there. I actually have never done an audiobook. I didn't want another man reading me a bedtime story. In the past podcasts, you talked about electric car companies in the U.S. and China scrambling for resources in Africa for batteries and the shitstorm that would ensue. War, accusations of terrorist plots, and stealing the natural resources off of the people who would benefit the most from selling their own resource the legal way. I present White Malice by Dr. Susan Williams. Oh, my God. I already know what this is going to be about. It's going to have my fucking head in the oven. Because no matter how many truths she speaks, someone's going to be like, well, it's just some woke shit. And that'll be it. Anyway, she goes into detail about the history of African independent movements in the 50s and 60s and how the U.S. just couldn't keep their noses out of the game. The same game going on now for battery and electronics resources was going on just after World War II for uranium for nuclear weapons. The constant fear of the Red Team, a.k.a. Russia and China. Having access to the same uranium and cobalt mines we have access to and building their own nukes. Not only that, but holding ground in Africa was a big deal strategically for the United States. The CIA had a big hand in shaping how... Oh, well, there you go. It's not just us. We had to do it because the Russians and the Chinese were also doing it. But why wouldn't they do it? Because we just showed that we had no problem dropping a fucking nuclear weapon on Asia twice. China and part of Russia are in Asia. Violence begets violence. Isn't that what they say? The CIA had a big hand in shaping how these brand new nations were formed, influencing elections, carrying out assassinations, and experimenting on unwitting locals. Some real Cold War bullshit. Anyway, I hope you give it a read. It's written by an actual historian and not some oil crony or blue hair, so you can be pretty sure of the sources. Go thrust yourself. Sincerely, listener. All right, well, I'm finishing up Alex Van Halen's amazing book, and then I'll dig into that. Oh God, that'll be some heavy fucking reading. This is, when you hear stuff like that, like I literally feel like it's like there can't be a God. There just can't be. Like when you see the people that are on at the upper echelon of power in all the information that they have access to, which is everything in science, religion, and everything. They would have all of the information. Okay? The way that they conduct themselves, there's no way that they're not going to burn in hell forever. Yet they do it. Why would they do it? I don't get it. I look at the Catholic Church and all the stuff that they say, and then I watch how they've conducted themselves. And it's just like, all of you guys are going to go to hell doing this. You're telling us, during the week, if I go to some fucking titty bar and go into the VIP room and get a fucking lap dance as a married man, I'm going to fucking burn in hell, da-da-da-da-da. And then meanwhile, you're in bed with the Nazis. You're betting on them first. You're playing both sides of the fence. You're kind of okay with the fact, hey, they kill all these Jewish people. That's one less religion to compete with. Am I right? You got pedophiles. You're hiding them. And I'm just talking about my religion because I don't know about the other ones. But like, I do know people are people, though. People are people, so why don't we... What is it? People are people. That's how it is. People are people, so why can't you see? Yeah, that's my, that is my thing. And when I watch a president go, God bless the United States of America. It's like, you really believe in God? You really believe in God? Because I think, as much as or half of us like each president, I mean, I don't know, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the sequel here. Yeah, the rest of the world looks at them like war criminals. I don't know. I like Jimmy Carter. I like a guy that goes with the people, and then when he's done, he doesn't go on some giant speech tour. He fucking goes out and builds houses for homeless people well into his fucking 90s. Well into his fucking 90s. And you know what's amazing about him? He was considered weak. Then Reagan came in and took the solar panels off the top of the White House and drill baby. That guy's a man. Man, he's a fucking actor. And now George Herbert Walker, that guy was a man, flying combat missions at fucking 18 years old, coming back to the ship. He couldn't even talk until they gave him 3 belts of whiskey. That's a fucking man. And then they made him out to be like he was a pussy. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. This guy will fucking strafe your whole family. Oh, shit. And Bill Clinton, I'm just going to trash him all. Bill Clinton, he looked like that guy that won like blue ribbons in like a barbecue contest, doesn't he? Hey, I'm going to show you my rub. Pork shoulder. This reminds me of Monica's ass. Then the next group, Bush and all of those fucking assholes, they were just oilmen. I don't consider them Republicans. They were just oilmen. And then you had Obama, and he came in, and he was like, oh. He always sounded like the aardvark to me on the Pink Panther. And he was supposed to give us hope, and the wars continued. And, that's another thing, too, like, blaming 2008 on that moment. It's like, no, you got to go back to Woodrow Wilson, the Federal Reserve, all the way through up to Nixon. Nixon was the guy that took us finally off the gold standard as we were inching our way towards that. And then Bill Clinton took away like the last pieces of regulations on banks that allowed some guy who was fucking selling shoes at Athlete's Foot to buy a fucking $1 million house. Which means instead of 2 people bidding on the house, now you had 7. And the value of the house, right? Well, who gets blamed? I think Obama got blamed for that. But welcome to a Democrat fucking world. Morons. Fucking mouth-breathing morons. All right, I got to shut up. All right? But I don't have a guest, so I have to keep talking.